The United States National Park System and National Forest System are home to some of the most beautiful and rugged wilderness in the world. These parks and forests are also popular tourist destinations, with millions of visitors each year. However, they are also the site of some mysterious disappearances. Thousands of people are reported missing in national parks and forests across the country each year. The reasons for these disappearances are often unknown, and they can be quite puzzling and disturbing. The vastness and remoteness of these places can make it easy for people to get lost. The harsh weather conditions in many of these remote locations can also pose a danger to hikers. Some people also believe that national parks and forests are home to supernatural creatures capable of abducting people without a trace. Today we have a list of 4 children who disappeared under mysterious circumstances in national parks and national forests. None of them was ever found alive. Our journey begins in California, at the San Bernardino National Forest, where 9-year-old David Gonzalez went missing in 2004. On July 31, 2004, David and his parents were camping at the Hannah Flat campground. David was hungry, so he asked his mother for the keys to the family truck, which was about 50 yards from them, so he could get some cookies from the glove box. His mother turned away for a moment, and when she looked back, David was gone. David's mother said she didn't hear anything, no strange noises, no screams, or anything indicating a struggle. She also recalls seeing a beige truck speeding out of the campground around the time her son went missing. However, during the investigation, authorities did not find any sign of a kidnapping, and they also indicated that there were no signs of an animal attack. Over 200 people participated in the search for David, but nothing was found. Almost a year later, hikers stumbled upon a decomposed body that looked like a child. They immediately contacted the police. Dental records confirmed that it was David Gonzalez's body. The body was found about a mile away from the place where David disappeared. The police initially believed that the body had been there for a long time. However, they had searched the area many times before, and during the previous months that area had also been searched. Nothing was found before. The police then believed that this was caused by animal activity in the area. Forensics found that the bones had marks of an animal attack. They concluded that this was caused by a mountain lion, and no further investigation was made into this case. However, many questions remained. How could David have disappeared without leaving any trace? Why were there no screams or any kind of noise of an attack? Also, they originally said that there were no marks of an animal attack on the area when they inspected the place. To this date, David's disappearance remains a mystery, and no one knows what really happened to him. Our next story took place at Crater Lake National Park in Oregon, where Sammy Boelka, an 8-year-old boy, disappeared without any explanation. Sammy went missing while hiking with his father on the north rim of Crater Lake National Park on October 14, 2006. Sammy and his father were walking back to a cabin they had near Diamond Lake. They were around 500 yards east of the Cleetwood Cove parking lot. They decided to stop for a minute to rest, but Sammy wanted to play a small game before they returned home. He told his father he wanted to play hide and seek, so he started looking for a place to hide. His father looked away, and when he looked back, he saw Sammy running to a slope. Sammy saw something yellow, which he called gold. He went up the slope to grab it. His father said that he told Sammy many times to come down, but he was refusing and started going up. Sammy, thinking this was a game, started running up the slope. His father started chasing after him, telling him to stop. He said that Sammy was about 50 feet ahead of him and running so fast that he couldn't catch up. When Sammy reached the end of the slope, his father lost sight of him. When Sammy's father reached the top, Sammy was no longer there. There was no one in the place, no people, no animals, nothing. He started yelling for him to come back. It seemed like Sammy had vanished into thin air. He communicated with the park rangers, and everyone started searching for Sammy. Around 200 people joined the search, covering about 6 square miles or 4,000 acres. They searched for weeks, using dogs, helicopters, and even heat-sensing cameras. However, no trace of Sammy was ever found. Sammy's body has never been found. Police said it was strange that a boy his age would just run away into the woods for no reason. Given that it was cold at the time, his instinct would have been to turn around and go back to his father, especially when he was yelling for him to come back for a long time. The location where Sammy got lost was an area with no rivers, no animals, and nowhere for him to go. It is possible that he wandered off and got lost, but it is also possible that something more sinister happened to him. The case of Sammy Boyelke remains unsolved to this day. For our third story, we visit the Great Smoky Mountains National Park in Tennessee. In 1962, 6-year-old Dennis Martin disappeared, leaving behind a trail of doubts and questions. Dennis Martin was visiting the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, along with his father, grandfather, and brother for Father's Day in 1969. On June 14th, around 4:30 p.m., the kids were playing and planning to surprise the adults from a separate family the Martins were camping with. Dennis and some other kids hid behind some bushes to surprise the adults. They were not very far from the adults' location. The other kids returned as expected, but Dennis was not with them. Dennis's father became concerned and started looking for him. He went to the bushes where they were hiding, but Dennis was not there. Dennis's father followed a trail in the woods. They were coming from the Appalachian Trail, so he went back nearly 2 miles yelling his son's name along the way. They notified the park rangers about what happened and everyone joined the search. The area here Dennis disappeared is marked by steep slopes and ravines. Also, there were many wild animals such as bears, snakes, and bobcats. An extensive search was conducted with nearly 1,400 people volunteering to help. They were able to find footprints that looked like his. They noticed that one foot was barefoot in the prints, and the other one was a similar print to the type of shoes he was wearing that day. Later, they were able to find a sock from one of his shoes. That was the only thing they ever found. The Dennis Martin case remains unresolved to this day. His strange disappearance baffled his family, friends, and even the army, leaving a whole country without answers. Our final case took place at the Rocky Mountain National Park, where 4-year-old Alfred Beilhartz disappeared without a trace. Alfred was on vacation with his family in Estes Park, and they were hiking on a trail that ran along the Fall River. Alfred fell behind his parents for a moment, and when they looked back, he was gone. His parents immediately began searching for him and called for help from park rangers. The rangers initially believed that Alfred had fallen into the river and drowned, so they dammed and dragged the river, but they did not find his body. The rangers then began an extensive search on foot, covering the land around the area where Alfred had disappeared. More than 150 people, including park rangers and volunteers, participated in the search, but they did not find anything. Later, some hikers claimed to have seen a boy sitting on the edge of an elevation for several minutes. They said that the boy was suddenly jerked back by someone off to the side, but they were not able to see who this person was. The park officials searched the area where the sighting happened, but they did not find anything. There were also reports that Alfred had been seen with a mysterious man walking along a road in Nebraska, but these claims were never confirmed. Alfred's body was never found, and his family never learned what happened to him that day. These are only a very small amount of cases of strange disappearances, where the cases have more questions than answers. What is your opinion on these 4 cases? What do you think could have happened? Leave your answer in the comments below. If you like this content, please subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.